Hello, I'm going to ask you for this class to grab a TheraBand. So we are going to be doing some TheraBand work with our Pilates. A longer TheraBand would be great, but if you have a short one, that's okay too. So we'll work around it. But we're going to grab hold of our TheraBand and we're going to come to our mat. We're going to stretch a little bit like we always do. So as you are getting ready to rest on your back, maybe just ask yourself what your body might need. Is there a way that you can stretch that's going to give you a little bit of release? And it doesn't matter what kind of stretch, we're really just listening intuitively to what our body might be asking for. At some point, we're going to work in a little bit of a twist. I'm going to keep my feet wide so I can get a little more front of the thigh stretch. You could stack your knees, but dropping knees over to one side. And we're not holding anything in, no worry about drawing that belly into spine right now. We're just taking a moment to let everything expand, especially breath. We're thinking about breath traveling into that side body. We'll come back through center and go to the other side. You might even use the head to gaze at the opposite shoulder. So I've got my knees to the left, looking over my right shoulder. And then we'll come on back through center. We're going to spend a little less time stretching today, especially since we're going to use a TheraBand, but I do want to do one for our shoulders. So we're going to clasp the hands, and I should say we're doing a little less stretching because we use the TheraBand actually to do some of our stretching. So when you're ready, we've got our hands clasped and knuckles up towards the ceiling. We'll do our protraction, retraction. We're going to press our knuckles. And then just let those shoulders melt back down into the mat. So not necessarily actively pushing them. We're going to press knuckles. We feel those shoulder blades spread. And then let those shoulder blades melt back. Or shoulder blades, yes, melt back down. I'm going to get my act together. We're going to press knuckles. And then melt shoulder blades. Let's do it 2 more times. We'll press. And melt shoulder blades. Last time, press. And melt shoulder blades. If you'll draw your knees into your chest, they could go wider if that feels better. We're going to rock from side to side. So just giving ourselves a little bit of really kind of low back massage, a release of the sacrum, or an invitation for the sacrum to release. Sometimes that takes a little bit. And then grab hold of your TheraBand. When you're hanging onto your TheraBand, we're looking for a straight blade to your wrist. And so what I see often is people pulling and creating that bend in their wrist. So think about, like I always say, Wolverine blades or knuckles pointed up. Laser beams coming out of those knuckles when we're holding on. We'll take breaks with our hands while we're holding on throughout our class today because it can get a little bit tricky for those fingers. Let your shoulder blades melt down. Feet are going to stay on the floor. The only thing we're going to do is start to pull that TheraBand apart. And then resist letting it come back together. Now, the wider the hands, the less resistance you'll have, but more range of motion. The closer the hands, the more resistance you'll have and less range of motion. So it's up to you. We're going to pull it apart and then draw it back together. We'll pull it apart. As it's coming back together, imagine that you're trying to resist it. Your shoulder blades are staying pressed into the mat. We'll pull it apart. They come back together just 2 more times. Pull apart. You'll feel some arm muscles start to activate. We're going to see this one again too. We're going to pull apart and let it come back together. Take your TheraBand, get it pretty wide. So when you're hooking it around the foot, you want a wider TheraBand. You want to be able to make sure it's not going to roll up and flick you because that hurts. We're going to take, if you have a long one, we're going to take our elbows down to the floor, and you may not, you might end up having a little bit shorter one and elbows can't reach the floor. So just letting leg lower down and lift back up. This is similar to what we might be doing without the TheraBands. We're going to lower. Exhale, lift back up. TheraBand's going to help. It's going to relax the front of the thigh. So right now we're just focused on mobility. And we'll come on back up 2 more times. Lower down. And let it lift back up 1 more time. If it makes sense, as it comes back up, you might even pull it a little bit closer. Just careful here. We're not gonna flex and point the toe. That's one of the easy ways to flick yourself with a TheraBand. A little extra hamstring stretch. While that foot is in there, place your other foot in there. So we get the other foot in, opposite foot comes to the floor. We'll do the same 5 leg lowers. We're gonna lower it down and lift back up. We'll inhale to lower. We're gonna exhale lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 3. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 4. One more time. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. 5. Both feet come into the TheraBand. Still holding on to that TheraBand. I'm going to exhale, bend my elbows and draw them down. Inhale, let my arms stretch back up. Exhale, draw down. Now I am pulling my belly in. Inhale. You could have softer knees, especially if this is really tight in the backs of those hamstrings. We're gonna exhale, draw down and release. Exhale, draw down, release. Last time, exhale, draw down. Leave those elbows on the ground, or at least tighten your TheraBand. Both legs are gonna lower. We're not gonna go quite as far. We don't wanna arch the back. We're gonna slowly exhale to lift back up. We start to engage those abs. So we're gonna inhale to lower legs. Exhale, slow lift back up. Try to pull that belly button to spine, all 8 of these. Inhale. Exhale, lift back up. That's 3. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift back up. 4. Inhale. Exhale, lift. We're paying attention to the bottom rib. My legs don't go very low before my back starts to arch. Yours might go a lot lower, closer to the floor. We've got 2 left to go. Inhale. And exhale is a nice warm up for that deepest layer of the abs, the transverse abdominis. Exhale, lift back up. Go ahead, bend your knees. Carefully take your TheraBand out. Take a moment. We're just going to circle our wrists. You could play the piano to help with those fingers as you're circling. So reverse your circle. And we're going to leave the TheraBand here for a moment. Hands are going to slide behind the head. We'll interlace those fingers, a very traditional chest lift. I'm going to slide my TheraBand off my belly. So when you're ready, we're going to exhale, lift head and shoulders, look down at the thighs, try not to tuck your tailbone. And then inhale, lower back down and rest the head. We'll exhale to lift. And inhale, lower 2. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower 3. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower 4, warming up that top layer. Exhale, that rectus abdominis. And lower 5. Exhale, lift. And lower 6. Last 2, exhale, lift. Lower 7, last time. Exhale, lift. And lower 8. We're going to go ahead and reach your arms overhead, drop your knees over to the right side. We want to get a little twist here. Gaze can go over your left shoulder. A little release of those shoulders too. We'll come back through center. Knees drop over to the left side. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder while arms are overhead. Now if you're working with shoulder stuff, T position is totally fine. We're going to take that TheraBand as knees come back through center. We're going to hook our feet. So both feet come into that TheraBand. Remember, wide TheraBand, that's going to help keep it from flicking. Once you're here, we're going to grab hold. Thumbs are facing you. So it's like you got your thumbs coming towards you. When you're ready, you're going to exhale. You're going to pull apart. So I'm going out wide and coming back through center. Again, working some shoulders. Exhale, pull apart and come back through center. Exhale. And center. Exhale. And you're going to notice this TheraBand allows us to do a lot of arm work. Exhale. And release. Exhale. Probably the most you can get in that workout is, well, I guess Magic Green, but this TheraBand too. Exhale. Release. 2 more. Exhale. Release last time. Exhale. Release, soften and bend your knees. I'm gonna take my hands in between. I'm gonna slowly roll up. So just a careful roll up here. And I'm gonna extend my legs. So as I'm seated, I'm gonna pull one arm back and then release. The other arm pulls. Exhale to pull. Inhale, release. Exhale, pull and release. Exhale, pull. Release. 2 more sets. Pull and release. Pull. Release. Last set. Pull. Release. Last one. Pull. Release. We're gonna roll up. We're gonna roll down. TheraBand's gonna help you. So we're gonna slow it down and take it a little bit longer to roll up and roll down so we get our work. We're gonna exhale to roll down. The head is gonna land. We'll leave our hands down by our side. We're gonna lift head and shoulders. If you can, keep your arms straight. Try not to pull yourself up with that TheraBand. Now, if you need to, you can. But if we can help it, we're gonna try to use straight arms. We're gonna exhale, we'll scoop to roll back. And then we'll lift head and shoulders. Exhale, roll back up. Take an inhale at the top, exhale, pull that belly in. Let that belly pulling in be the part that starts your scoop. And then lift head and shoulders. Exhale, roll back up. Inhale, exhale, scoop. This may be one of the things that TheraBand makes a little easier in our Pilates mat practice. There aren't too many things that makes easier. We're gonna exhale, scoop, and roll back. We'll lift and exhale, roll up. 2 more. Exhale, scoop, roll back. And then lift, exhale, roll up. One last time. Exhale, scoop, roll back. And then we'll lift, exhale, roll back up. We're gonna change our grip on the TheraBand. So I'm thinking about my L, my letter L. I'm gonna make that letter L and come from underneath to grab hold of that TheraBand. And then bend your knees. So you have nice soft knees. We have that L, we're holding on between the thumb and really the palm. And then we're gonna do a little bit of bicep work. We're gonna scoop back just to create a little more distance. Think about the elbows staying put. We're gonna exhale and straighten. So we want to try not to pull elbows down. Elbows stay put. You draw your fist in towards your face. Exhale, draw in 3. Exhale, forward. Exhale, draw in 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. One more time. Exhale, 8. Go ahead, release that TheraBand. Take the break you might need with those fingers. We'll set it off to the side for a moment. We're gonna scoop to roll back. We're gonna drop our knees to the right side. Hands come behind the head. We're gonna do some obliques here. Well, you're gonna feel that top leg engage just a little bit. We're gonna exhale to lift and inhale, lower back. Exhale, lift 2. And lower. Exhale, 3. This is a deep isolation of your obliques. Exhale, 4. It might be hard to pull belly to spine, but you can try. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. One last time on this side. Exhale, 8. Come on back through center. We're gonna drop knees over to the other side. Same 8. When you're ready, exhale, lift for 8. Exhale, 7. Excuse me. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 4. Exhale, 3. Exhale, 2. Last time. Exhale, 1. Come on back through center. We're going to draw those knees into your chest for just a moment here. We'll slide our hands underneath our buns. Hands come underneath buns, knees come into 90 degrees. We're gonna lower one heel to tap, and then we'll lift it back up. Opposite heel lowers, and exhales to lift. Inhale, lower, exhale. Inhale, lower, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last step this way. And exhale, last one. Draw up, keep the knees there, slide the hands behind the head. We're gonna lift head and shoulders. We're gonna keep the head here. We do the same choreography. We lower and come back up. Inhale, tap, exhale, lift. Inhale, tap, and exhale up. Inhale, tap, and exhale. Inhale, tap, and exhale. Inhale, tap, exhale. Inhale, tap, exhale. Last one. Inhale, tap, and exhale. Go ahead, bring your feet down. Rest your head down. We're gonna grab hold of our TheraBands. We're gonna go about shoulder width apart. So it's like our palms are facing our thighs. To grab hold of it, again, I have it between my thumb and palm or index finger. And you have a couple of choices here. On this next one, we're gonna be pressing hands down. You could pull apart and press down at the same time, or just simply press down. The pull apart, press down is gonna be a little bit more intense. We're gonna be lifting hips while we do this. Heels come fairly close to the bottom. When you're ready, we're gonna lift hips, press TheraBand down. Inhale, TheraBand comes up towards the ceiling, hips come down. We'll press, you could pull and press at the same time, and lower, meaning arms, hands go further away as you press hands down. Further away from each other. I made that really complicated, didn't I? We're gonna press and lift. And lower hips. Press. And lower. Let's do these last three. Press. And lower. Two more. Press. And lower. One more. Press. And lower. Arms overhead for a little bit of a stretch. And we're just gonna take our fingertips up towards the ceiling, holding onto that TheraBand loosely. I've got plenty of static going on here, statically. We're gonna go into the tuck and the peel, so a full articulation of the spine. We'll pull belly in, we're gonna tuck the pelvis. We're gonna start to peel one vertebrae at a time as we begin to lift. We'll pause at the top, and then we'll melt back down. We're gonna do 3 of these, and then we're gonna add in a little bit with the arm. So we're gonna tuck, we'll peel and lift. Try to take your time peeling. Try to get the weight only between the shoulder blades, not in the back of the head, and then melt back down, keeping your tuck. Find that low back, hips hit, and then release. Last one this way, we're gonna tuck, we'll peel and lift. Pause at the top. And then exhale, melt back down. We're gonna add in arm choreography. Your left hand is gonna stay put. When you next tuck and peel, at the top, we'll do a flat palm press towards the thigh. So leave hands just as they are here, just chill for a moment. And then we're gonna tuck, we're gonna peel, we're gonna lift. Left hand stays put, right hand presses down as if you're gonna put it on your thigh and let it lift back up. You're gonna exhale, press, stay in your bridge, and lift back up. 2, exhale, press, and lift back up. 3, exhale, press, and 4, one more time. Exhale, press, lift back up. 5, go ahead, melt back down. We're gonna take that break before we do the other side. On your next exhale, you'll tuck, start to peel, and lift. Right hand stays put, left palm goes to tap and lifts back up. Exhale, press, tap 2, and lift. Exhale, press, tap 3, and lift. Exhale, press, tap 4, lift one more time. Press 5, lift, go ahead and let everything melt back down. We're gonna take our knees into chest. You can hold on to that TheraBand just lightly. We'll rock side to side. We are gonna do our double leg here, or double leg stretch, yes. I had to think about that. We're gonna come up, knees into 90, head lifts. We're gonna reach that TheraBand just above the knees. We'll inhale, reach it overhead. Exhale, bend the knees. Again, you could spread it. We're gonna inhale, reach. You could pull it apart. Exhale, 2. Inhale, reach. Exhale, 3. Inhale, reach. Exhale, 4. Inhale, reach. Exhale, 5. Inhale, reach. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Lower down. Bring the feet down. Let that TheraBand rest for a moment. We're going to make 90-degree elbows. If you want to twist, you can. I'm going to extend my legs so you could drop knees over to the right, or you can hang out here with straight legs. I'm going to rock my head side to side. If you have your knees to the right, go ahead and switch to the left. And then we're going to go ahead, grab hold of your TheraBand. We're going to bend and place your left foot on the floor. Wide TheraBand to grab hold of the sole of the right foot. We're going to do leg circles. And these leg circles, I like these so much better than leg circles without the TheraBand. I'm going to scooch over and make a little bit of space. It's going to give us more mobility. It's a lot less of tightening of the front of the thigh. And once again, if you can, thumbs are aimed towards you. You're going to pull your elbows down to the floor, or you're hanging onto that shorter TheraBand with straight arms. We're going to drop the leg down to the center of the mat. It opens out, swings around, and comes back through center. So we'll drop down, open, out, around, and center. Drop 3, out, around. Center, drop 4, out, around. Center, drop 5, out, around. Center, drop 6, and center, drop 7. Not really worried about that opposite leg and stabilizing. This is again about mobility. This is 8. We're going to reverse that circle. So we drop it out, swing it down to the mat, and let it rise up through the midline of the body. It drops out, circles down, around, and up. Drop out, circle, 3, drop out, circle, 4, drop out, circle, 5, drop out, circle, 6, drop out, circle, 7, last time, drop out, circle, 8. Take a moment, just soften that knee, let your band pull that knee a little bit closer into the chest. We're going to switch. To switch, place your left foot in first. Make sure it's a nice wide band. Right foot comes down to the floor. Mine started to roll, so I'm going to make an adjustment so it doesn't flick me. Elbows down to the floor if possible. If not, straight arms holding on. We're going to drop it down, open it out, around, and back to center. We drop down, out, around. 2, drop down, out, around. 3, drop down, out, around. 4, drop down, out, around. 5, drop down, out, around. 6, last 2, drop down, out, around. 7, drop down, out, around. 8, reverse it, drop it out, swing it down to the mat, and then right up through the midline of the body. Out, down, and up through the midline. Drop out, down, and 3, drop out, down, and 4, drop out, down, 5, drop out, down, 6, drop out, down, 7, last time, drop out, down, 8. Go ahead, bend that knee in for a little stretch, a little release of that hamstring. Carefully take that TheraBand off so it doesn't flick you. Set it off to the side, give yourself your piano fingers, a little chance to loosen up those fingers. And then we're gonna go ahead, bring knees into chest, hang on to those knees or thighs, let yourself roll up. We're gonna come to a comfortable seat. So we're not really worried about what is happening with the legs. Legs don't have to be straight for this one. we're gonna take an end of the TheraBand and place it under your right bun cheek. And we want it to really, that right bun cheek is holding onto it. The rest of the TheraBand is gonna go a bit out at an angle. This is always hard to see on the screen. It's not straight out from my shoulder, it's just a bit forward. I'm gonna drop it down. Thumbs down, you're gonna grab hold of your TheraBand. Now you might draw it a little bit closer to your hip structure, it might go a little further away. What's important here is that we're not lifting the fist higher than the shoulder. The fist stays lower than the shoulder. When you're ready, aiming with your pinky up towards the ceiling, thumb down, we're gonna exhale to lift and lower. So the back of your hand is towards your screen. Exhale and lower 2. Exhale, and I'm still sitting tall, belly in. Exhale, lower 4. Exhale, lower 5. Exhale, lower 6. Exhale, lower 7. One more time. Exhale, lower 8. Take your TheraBand across the body to the left hand. So I have my palm up, I'm hanging onto it now. We're gonna do essentially a couple of moves where we're rotating out like we're holding on to something, like you can think about pressing your elbow in your rib cage, extending out, coming back in and releasing. So palm is up, holding on. You could go closer to the thigh for more resistance, further away, less resistance. Rotate it out, extend it up, bend the elbow, and let it return back through center. We're gonna rotate it out, extend, elbow, and release. We rotate, extend, in and 3. That extension is the one that'll get you. Extend, in, 4. Rotate, extend, in, 5. Rotate, extend, in, 6. Rotate, extend, in and 7. Last time, rotate, extend, in and 8. We're gonna switch that TheraBand over to the other side, other bun cheek. So it goes under your left bun cheek. Make sure it's secure. Throw that TheraBand out at an angle. Remember, it's not coming straight out, it's a little bit at an angle. Thumb down, grab hold where it makes sense. Closer to you, harder. Further away, less hard. We've got pinky aiming towards the ceiling, thumb aiming down, back of the hand towards your screen. We're gonna lift and lower. Ooh, that one's too hard. Exhale and lower 2. Exhale and 3. Exhale, 4. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. Exhale, lower 8. Take it across the body into the palm of the right hand. It's our 4-part move here. Palm faces up. We rotate elbow into the rib cage, extend the arm, bend in and release. We're gonna rotate, extend, in and 2. Rotate, belly in, long spine, in and 3. Rotate, extend, in and 4. Rotate, extend, in 5. Rotate, extend, in 6. Rotate, extend, in and 7. Last time, rotate, extend, in and 8. Here's the nice part about TheraBand. We're gonna stretch. So come off that side. We're gonna go pretty wide with your TheraBand. And this really actually depends on your shoulder structure and how tight you might be through the front of your chest. So if possible, we're gonna take it and spread it comfortably. So there's not a lot of resistance here. And we'll send it up and overhead. You can either keep straight arms to reach it back, or you could bend elbows. So it comes up and overhead and comes back down. We'll lift and bend, or straight arms. Up and over and down. Lift and bend, or not. 2 more. Last one. We'll lift, send it behind us, up and bend.
Leave that band in your right hand. We're gonna throw most of it behind our back. So I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna think about my fist coming right at my shoulder. My left hand, or whichever hand you've got here, is gonna come low and grab hold of that TheraBand. Now I'm walking, what you can't see is I'm walking my fingers closer and closer together to try to pull that right elbow up closer towards the ceiling. This is actually a stretch. We're gonna look away from the elbow and look down at the opposite shoulder. If you're tight through the very top ridge of your shoulder, you're going to feel some stretch here. We're also stretching tricep. We sometimes do this without the TheraBand. The advantage of having it is we can keep walking hands closer and closer. When you're ready, go ahead, release it. If you like, you can leave it in your left hand so that you get ready for that side and give yourself a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of shake. We're gonna slide it behind the back. So we can think of now about left elbow coming up towards the ceiling, fist kind of right at your shoulder. Right hand slides behind and you start walking those hands closer and closer together. You might be able to clasp them. You might not need that TheraBand at all. We're gonna look away from the elbow and look down at the opposite shoulder. So again, if you are tight through your upper trapezius, this is a great stretch to do. It's great for the underarm, tricep area as well. We're gonna release it, doesn't matter which hand it is in. Take a moment, just leave it right there. Give yourself some shoulder rolls or shrugs. So depending on what works best for you. And then reverse your roll. We're gonna come to a rest on our bellies. You can bring your TheraBand. You're welcome to use it. You're also welcome to leave it. So we're gonna do a few things with back extension and arms, and then we're gonna use it actually to stretch the front of the thighs. So come to rest on your belly. Actually, I'm gonna come this way. If you are using the TheraBand, what this will look like is when you come up, now I'm gonna keep my elbows in 90, you could have your arms overhead. When you come up, you're spreading the TheraBand, you're lowering back down. So once again, working some of those muscles through the shoulders. You don't have to use the TheraBand. You could lift the arms without it. You could also leave the arms on and just do the lift of the upper body. The feet do stay on. We're gonna leave the entire leg on as well. When you're ready, you're gonna inhale to lift. Maybe you spread that TheraBand. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. So I'm modifying, I'm leaving my elbows on, mostly because I can tell this is firing up my back too much. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Go ahead, slide your hands down by your side. Just take a moment to rest a cheek on the floor. And then switch cheeks. This next one, we're not using TheraBand. Well, actually, you could. I'm going to demonstrate how you could. You could slide it behind your back. And you can just use it as you're lifting to lift and pull that TheraBand apart if you choose. You don't have to, and in fact, I'm not going to. I'm gonna leave my hands down by my side and leave my palms up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna be lifting legs, upper body, and arms. We're gonna inhale, lift like we're flying across our mat. Exhale, lower. Now you could rest a cheek each time. I'm just gonna keep my nose towards the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, 2. Inhale, lift, upper body, legs long, fingertips reaching, exhale, lower, 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, 4. Inhale. Exhale, lower, 5. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, lower, 6. Inhale. Exhale, lower, 7. And one more time. Inhale. Exhale, lower, 8. Take a moment, pick a cheek to rest on. This next one, we're going to use our TheraBand. If you can actually, if you're a person who can grab hold of the top of their foot while you're resting here, you don't need your TheraBand. This can be a really nice way to use your TheraBand to get a stretch. It also is a bit of wiggling. So if you are using it, you're gonna come and wrap it around your ankle. It's like lassoing it, right? If it's long enough, you can pull it over your shoulder. Now I'm gonna flex my foot so it doesn't flick. And then I'm just gonna rest down. If it's not long enough, you're leaving it down by your side and pulling that foot in towards your bum cheek. You might even add a little tailbone tuck, like you were gonna do a pelvic curl. You're feeling that stretch of the front of the thigh. Careful as you release, kick it out. You can switch sides. I'm gonna grab hold of my other foot. I'm gonna grab hold, you'll lasso it if you need to. We're tucking the tailbone. We're drawing that bun or that heel in towards our bun. Two more breaths here. Ooh, and here comes the hard stuff to finish. Let's take a moment. Actually, we didn't stretch our back, so that's foreshadowing. We're gonna come into our child's pose to stretch our back, and then we'll do the hard stuff. We're gonna be doing our side series, but we're gonna be using that TheraBand around the thighs. So we're gonna be tying it in a bow. We'll give ourselves 3 more breaths here. And then as you're coming up, if you do like to have a pillow underneath your head, go ahead and grab it. We're gonna lay, you can do this in any order you like. We're actually gonna tie it around our thighs, above our knees. Now, this is up to you. You could tie it pretty tight, which is gonna make this really hard. Or you can keep it a little bit looser, not as hard, but still harder than without it. So I'm tying mine in a bow. A knot is always harder to get out of these. So if you can tie it in a bow, go for it. And then we're gonna stack our knees like we're going into our clam series, because we are. We're gonna keep our feet on the floor. It's gonna be the top knee only. We're gonna exhale to lift the top knee and lower it down. Exhale and lower 2. Now we're holding belly in all this time as well. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. One more time. Exhale. 8. Lift the feet, the same move. We're gonna open and close. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Last time. Exhale. 8. Take the legs long now. So we're going to stack the hips. And this is when we typically start with. But I'd like you to think about being able to lift that leg just as high as you can. And then we're going to stay there and pulse it. So when you're ready, top leg only, lifts. And we're going to start to pulse. We pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. One more round. Lift it as high as you can and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. We're going to do the other side and then I promise we'll stretch. So I'm going to flip around. You could just turn away. Awkwardly flip around. We're going back to stacked knees, 90-degree knees. We'll keep the feet on the floor. And when you're ready, top knee only, lifts and lowers. Need a little bit more resistance there. We're going to lift and lower 2. Exhale.
third. Exhale, 4. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. One more time. Exhale, 8. Woo, just lift those feet. This is burning already on my side. We're gonna open and close. Exhale, 2. Same move, top knee only. Exhale, 3. Exhale, 4. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 6. Exhale, 7. Last time. Exhale, 8. Stretch your legs long. We're gonna stack our hips. Flex that top foot, lift it as high as you can get it, and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. One more time. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Let's roll to our backs. Either undo or slide off your TheraBand. And we're going to do Happy Baby to start. So this is where a TheraBand can come in really handy. For those of us in Happy Baby who have a hard time getting hold of the feet, you could slide your TheraBand all the way around those arches of your feet, go a little bit wider, and then use your hands to draw those TheraBands down. So Happy Baby, with or without that TheraBand. If Happy Baby is miserable, just draw knees into chest, that's okay too. When we're doing Happy Baby first, we're releasing hamstrings and inner thigh, then we're gonna release that outer thigh. Sometimes Happy Baby can fire up that outer thigh, so we'll get that full advantage of the stretch. We'll give ourselves 2 more breaths here. And then we're gonna do either our number 4 stretch. You can pick an ankle to cross over. You could also, once again, use a TheraBand around that sole of the foot and draw in, especially if holding onto the back of the thigh is a little bit tricky. There may be a few of us who actually take a knee and stack it on top of the other and then grab hold of ankles. This is if you have that little bit more hypermobile hip joint. You can externally rotate quite far, so you don't typically feel that number 4 stretch. This is going to get you a little bit deeper stretch. I'm reminding myself to relax shoulders, relax the neck. Try not to overstride in that upper body while we release the hips. And then switch it out. Other knee on top, ankle crosses over, whichever way works best for you. I forgot to mention, those of us who may have stacked knees and shoelace, we're actually pulling our heels out from our buttons. That's going to increase the stretch. We'll give ourselves 2 more breaths here. And then releasing the feet to the floor. If you will, walk those feet wide and just rock side to side. You can rest your hands in any way that feels good to you. We're gonna maybe shake our head no side to side. Come back through center and just for a moment, constructive rest pose. This is our final little space here to release. So feet stay wide, knees drop towards each other. If it's okay for arms to cross over, sometimes that feels like it restricts breath, and if it does, leave them open. But if it doesn't feel like it restricts breath, go ahead and cross them over. And just breathe here. Nothing is holding in. This is a little bit of a bringing ease into that low back, and the release of the shoulders, especially that shoulder blade area. We work those arms more than usual in class, so we're taking a little extra here just to release if we can. When you're ready, you're gonna roll over to one side just to treat that back kindly. We'll press hands into the floor. We're gonna come on up to sit. that's our class today with TheraBand. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time. Be well until then. Take care.